Let's talk now about the pursuit of purpose. Now that you know the purpose, so let's talk now about the pursuit as the last essential of purpose, the pursuit of purpose. When we read Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 says, "Therefore, we also, since we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every word and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of God." What a profound scripture for us to know. So, since we are surrounded by a great crowd of witnesses. Who are these witnesses he's talking about? This is Hebrews 12. When you go back to Hebrews 11, Hebrews 11, it's the hall of fame of the heroes of faith. So he talks of the author talks about the heroes of faith. He talks of Abraham. He talks of Enoch, Abel. He talks of Barak, Jephthah, Gideon. A lot of people, Sarah. He talks of all these people who through faith they subdued kingdoms, shut the mouths of the lion. You know, they escaped the edge of the sword. These people, some received their dead back to life. He talks of these people, how through faith they did extraordinary things. So he said, now, since we have these witnesses as evidence that this life we are talking about, it works. Since we have these people as the proof of concept, let us lay aside every word. We need to put away every word, every sin which easily ensnares us. And we should run the race that is marked for us with endurance. And then he says, look, as we run the race, we are looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. What an amazing scripture. What an amazing scripture for us to know. So, one thing you need to understand is that your purpose is the race that has been set before you, which you must run with endurance. Your purpose, friend, is the race that has been set before you to represent God in the field which he has ordained you to do so, and to have dominion in that field. That is the race that God has set before you, and you must run that race with endurance. I love the emphasis of the word endurance, because when the word endurance or perseverance is used, which means along the way, as you run the race, there will be challenges, but you have to endure. So you run the race with endurance. You run the race with endurance. You need to endure as you run the race. It's not always going to be easy. So run the race, your purpose. Pursue that purpose of representing God in your field and having dominion in that field with endurance. With endurance, because there will be time where you feel like giving up. There will be times where you feel like things are not working out. Like this thing is not going to come to pass, but you need to run with endurance. You need to run with endurance, because that's what you are born for. You need to run with endurance and represent God effectively there. And as you run the race, and as you run this race of accomplishing your purpose, you have a crowd of witnesses, Hebrews 11, to refer to be encouraged and be inspired by those who have gone ahead of you and who have fulfilled their purposes. So you have, as you are running with endurance, you have the hall of fame, the crowd of witnesses to refer to be encouraged. Go through their stories, read their stories, And let that encourage you. Look at the challenges that they faced. It took Abraham about 20-something years for him to have a child, which God promised him. Joseph had to stay 13 years in prison. 13 years in prison. So all these stories, as you study these stories of these heroes of faith, it will encourage you in the moment of struggles or doubt, on when you are facing hardship. No wonder we have to refer to these cloud of witnesses, because for encouragement, so we may be inspired and encouraged to fulfill our purposes. He said, run the race that is marked for you. Friend, you must run the race that is marked for you. Your purpose must be your priority, and it should determine everything you do in life, including who you marry. Oh, I hope you have gotten this one. Your purpose must be your priority. Run the race that is marked for you. Don't try to run the race that is not marked for you. We have a lot of people who are trying to do things that they are not ordained to do. No, run the race that is marked for you, friend. Run the race that is marked for you. Identify your race. It is very important to know what you are supposed to do. Be clear about what your life is all about and be content with that. So be clear what your life is all about and be content with that. Run the race that is marked for you. Your purpose becomes your priority and determines everything you do, including who you marry. You marry for purpose. You don't marry because she's beautiful, because he's handsome. You marry for purpose. You marry for purpose. That is important. Let's go to the next video, to the next session.